don't see that. OMG. Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. It's a Friday night, Non Messianic Conversation night. It's the 12th of May, 2023. What we'll be dealing with at the beginning of the Shabbat, tomorrow for the Sabbath class, and our evening Sabbath class, we'll be dealing with this Africa in the Holy Land. It's some pretty profound information, so I'm going to put it in the books by dealing with the next couple of classes. Okay. Let everybody know that you can go to our YouTube channel, Prophets of Awakening, and check out our videos. There's a lot of information given, and the videos will connect dots for you, lead you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And for those that want to support the channel, you can do that by Cash App, which is $ Prophet Leonard. You want to, it's on the bottom of the page. Okay. For those, this is a Non Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by the Lord of Hosts. Okay. Shalom and welcome to Prophets of Awakening, and welcome to our Non Messianic Conversation. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer, Sabbath prayer, Psalms, we'll do some current events, and then we go into our need to know information, and then we open up for some Q&A. Okay? So with that being said, I want to say we do our moment of silence, which is for the Lord of Hosts and all that He's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these in these final days. Oh Lord, we come before Thee at the beginning of your Shabbat, thanking You for Your mercy and great power. We appreciate You, O Lord, for Your patience and guidance in these last days. Oh Lord, we thank You for Your awakening us to this great understanding of Your word. Oh Lord, we see Your mighty hand in the world's affairs and how You are constructing Your people's deliverance. And we trust and rely upon Thee. And for this cause, we honor and respect You greatly. Turn not Thy face from us, but allow us in our searching out of You, O Lord, to find You and to dwell with You. Peace be unto You. Okay. So with that being said, we're going to read a psalm. Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll read Psalm 68. It's a psalm of David. God has gone before His people. Okay. And it says, let God arise, let His enemies be scattered. Let them also that hate Him flee before Him. As smoke is driven away, so drive them away. As wax melted before the fire, so let the wicked perish at the presence of God. But let the righteous be glad. Let them rejoice before God. Yea, let them exceedingly rejoice. Sing unto God. Sing praises to His name. Extol Him that rideth upon the heavens by His name, Jah, and rejoice before Him. A father of the fatherless and a judge of widows. is to God in his holy habitation. God setteth the solitary in families. He bringeth out those which are bound with chains, but the rebellious dwell in a dry land. O God, when thou wentest forth before thy people, when thou didst march through the wilderness, Selah, the earth shook. The heavens also dropped at the presence of God. Even Sinai itself was moved at the presence of God, the God of Israel. Thou, O God, didst send a plentiful rain, whereby thou didst confirm thy inheritance when it was weary. The congregation have dwelt therein. Thou, O God, hast prepared of thy goodness for the poor. The Lord gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it. Kings of armies did flee pace, and she that tarried at the home divided the spoil. Though ye have lain among pots, yet shall ye be as the wings of a dove covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. Okay. Okay. Though ye be lain among the pots, ye shall be as the wings of a dove covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. When the Almighty scattered kings in it, it was white as snow in summer. The hills of God is as the hills of Bashan, a high hill as the hill of Bashan. Why leap ye, ye high hills? This is the hill which God desired to dwell in. Ye, the Lord will dwell in it forever. The chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. Thou hast ascended on high. Thou hast led captive. Thou hast received gifts from me. Yea, for the rebellious also, that the Lord God might dwell among them. Blessed be the Lord, who daily loadeth us with benefits, even the God of our salvation. Selah, he that is our God is the God of salvation, and unto God the Lord belongeth the issue from death. But God shall wound the head of his enemies, and the hairy scalp of such as one as goeth on still in trespasses. The Lord said, I will bring again from Bashan, I will bring my people again from the depths of the sea, that thy foot may be dipped in the blood of thine enemies, and the tongue of thy dogs in the same. They have seen the goings of God, even the goings of my God, my King in the sanctuary. The singers went before the players on instruments, followed after. Among them were the dancers playing with tamarines. Okay? Bless ye God in the congregation, even the Lord of the fountain of Israel. There is little Benjamin with their rulers, the princes of Judah and their council, the princes of Zebulun and the princes of Naphtali. Thy God have commanded thy strength. Strengthen, O God, that which it has wrought for us. Because of thy temple at Jerusalem shall kings bring presents unto thee. Rebuke the company of spearmen, the multitude of the bulls with the calves of people, till every one submit himself with pieces of silver. Scatter thee, thou, the people that delight in war. Princes shall come out of Egypt. Ethiopia shall soon stretch out her hands unto God. Sing unto God, ye kingdoms of the earth. O sing praises unto the Lord. Selah. To him that rideth upon the heavens of heavens, which were of old, lo, he doeth send out his voice in that a mighty voice, Ascribe ye strength unto God. His excellency is over Israel, and his strength is in the clouds. O God, thou art the terrible out of thy holy places. The God of Israel is he that giveth strength and power unto his people. Blessed be God. Okay, that was Psalm 68. Anybody got any comments on that? Okay, Psalm 17 says, you can look at this right here and you can associate it with Mount Sinai. So it says, verse 17, The chariots of God are 20,000. The chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. So he says, just like right here, this is what was at Mount Sinai. See that? The chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. So Sinai is a holy place. Okay, and another verse I saw was says, yeah, 23 and 24. Say, I was telling you how the Lord of hosts is in the temple. When they sacrifice and all that, it says 23, that thy foot may be chipped in blood of thy enemies, and the tongue of thy dogs in the same. They have seen thy goings. So look here, they, Israelites, priests, they have seen thy goings, O God, even the goings of my God, my King, in the sanctuary. 25, the singers went before, and the players of instruments followed after. Among them were the dancers playing with tambourines. Bless ye God in the congregation, even the Lord, from the fountains of Israel. So we're telling you right here, doing to have those great congregations, he right there in the temple with him. Okay. Okay, so with that being said, we're gonna go to the current events. Let me see. Okay.
Our citizens here in our community, in our buildings that we pay taxes for.
Some of you don't know this, man, but I am a.
So what this is about is the people already start protesting and revoking the fact that they're bringing all these illegal immigrants over to Chicago.
Fan of the Black Conservative Perspective channel. I think he's a pretty cool young man, and the type of content that he reviews, I don't know how he get that information so fast. But I know that he's a good guy, and whoever he has on his team are doing a damn good job with him. A damn good job. This joint that we're talking about today comes from Black Conservative Perspective, and it's a liberal Black Chicago woman who demands Black people stop voting just for Black people and Democrats. And I love this already before even looking at it. For real. I love it already, and I would have gone directly to the original video. I don't know what the original video is, but I'm glad that he's covering this right now, because we need to stop being goddamn robots. That's what we need to stop doing. We need to start thinking for ourselves, stop being suckers, vote for blue, vote for the one that's going to give us food stamps. Hell no, man. Damn that. Just because somebody give you something, don't make them your friend. It could be them trying to control you.
Because it's private. Well, no, this is a hotel. It's closed. It's closed? No, I just saw some people go inside.
You cannot come in.
Well, why can't I come in?
It's closed for you.
Why is it closed for me?
So they got immigrants in the motel and they lock the blacks out. Nobody can't come in the motel. They got all the motel full of immigrants.
Why is it closed for me, though? I don't understand.
It's a private area, so therefore it's private. You're not a resident here.
Who are the residents? Now, I thought this was a hotel. Now what? Now, I don't understand the designation.
Mexicans working the desk.
Explain it to me. What is the designation? Hi. Yeah. Hello. Welcome. Yeah. Could you just explain that to me? I don't understand.
They just walk smooth in. Who are they? Hold on. What am I missing here? They just walk. Hey, let me tell you something, man. They just walk smooth in and left that man out there on the daggone sidewalk talking about he couldn't get in. Okay. Cuz is going to figure it out. Look, he's like, whoa. What do you mean I can't get in?
It doesn't look like it's closed. Huh. Hi, welcome. Where are you from? Well, enjoy your stay.
Meanwhile,
It is a slap in the face.
whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. Was he just letting, well, okay, I don't want to just act as if they were some illegals and this was where they come to stay, but was that the case? I mean, it's a hotel restaurant. The people that are walking up in there, they're not speaking. They just walking straight up in there with their families. They're not dressed a certain type of way. There's no type of decorum or anything. They got kids with them going up into the spot, and you're not letting me in, and you won't tell me exactly why, because you on the phone. Okay, let's hear about this.
That we as citizens of the United States of America do not have the resources and support, but you're going to bring people who are not citizens here in our community, in our buildings that we pay taxes for, that you took away from us. That is completely unacceptable. We are in a humanitarian crisis right now. The Black people in Chicago are bleeding on the streets.
Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson.
Damn right, but guess what? We need to start, and see, now I see why this is called liberal Black Chicago woman demands the Black people stop voting Democrat just because they're Black, because y'all are voting for this. Y'all are supporting this. Everyone that's voting like you're voting right now, you're supporting this. And when they come over, who the hell you think gonna have to move out? Huh? You're gone. Job opportunities, gone. We're gonna pay these new people under the table who don't have any papers, and we won't have to pay as much taxes. We benefit, they benefit. You're not gonna do anything but complain, American. That's what you're gonna do, Democratic American. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna complain. You're gonna want more money. And we're just going to shoo you away and just pay everybody else under the table and just get you up out of here. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. Keep voting for this. And now all of the shelters are going to who? All of the money are going to who? Come on, man.
Have this to say about the migrant crisis.
We have a responsibility to make sure that families who are seeking love and support here in the city of Chicago and throughout the state of Illinois, that they are not just welcome, but they are serviced.
What? All right, guys. So I want to revisit this story out of Chicago about what's happening in the South Shore neighborhood as you have residents that are revolting against the illegal immigration that is happening there. Okay, they're housing illegal immigrants using local resources, and the people there are pissed. Okay, they're upset. Okay. They are revolting against local city leaders for allowing this to happen. Now, I've talked about this story before, but I want to talk about it again because there's some more videos that are floating online of what these people are saying, particularly women, particularly Black women, are saying to these city council members, their leaders, about illegal immigration. And at some point, you had some women actually taking the red pill and realizing that, hey, we shouldn't be out here just vote for people because they're Black or because they're so-called pro-Black. And we shouldn't just be voting for Democrats either just because they're Democrats. And I just got to ask the question of, why in the hell does it take such extreme circumstances for Black people, particularly Black women, to see the error of their ways when it comes to their voting habits? So without further ado, let's actually go ahead and roll this clip of one of the women basically, again, demanding and telling people, hey, we need to stop voting for people just because they're Black and just because they're Democrat. In fact, we need to try to vote Joe Biden out of office. Take a look.
The reason why, before we go into the video, and we're about to go there, and I'm not even going to interrupt it, the reason why it takes so long for us to wake the hell up is because we are selfish as hell. That's the reason why it takes us so long for us to wake up. When we start barking, when we start making noise, we're only doing it when it negatively affects us in our pocketbooks. That's it. Oh, it's on our doorstep now. We got to say something about it. That's the only time we can care less about anybody else, to be honest. We care less about our own. Chicagoans are bleeding in the streets. Okay, they've been bleeding in the streets for decades now. Did you start voting differently? Did you start making different moves to make sure that they stop bleeding in the streets? No, you did not. You kept voting the same exact way. You kept saying la 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 whenever somebody tried to give you the truth. And if that someone who was trying to give you the truth looked like you and was black like you called him Uncle Tom. That's what you did. You clowned him and said that he's just an uppity ass. That's it. All right? And then when it hits your doorstep, when you start to see all the opportunities negatively affect you, all the opportunities going to the other people and not the blacks, when you're getting kicked out of shelters and they're being filled up, they're filling up hotels with illegals who haven't paid 1 red cent of taxes over here, yet you voted for it. But now you're pissed off because you're now starting to see how it's affecting the black community. She's not doing that because she's some social justice warrior or anything like that. She's doing it because she's selfish.
To the young lady on the end here who said that this is a humanitarian crisis. My brother was murdered in January. Chicago already has a humanitarian crisis.
That's right. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't have enough resources to support our people here.
That's right.
My mother had to look out the window and see where my brother was shot at because PHA does not want to move her. Okay? So my whole thing is, if we don't have resources to support us here already, why the hell would you all bring people here for one who don't like black people?
Yeah.
Clap, 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 clap. Facts. Why would y'all bring people here? Because y'all voted for it, boo-boo. You allowed it, babe. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
You all are sitting up here, so this is just to let you all know. This meeting here is a formality. They have to do this. They're going to do what they want to do anyway.
What we gotta do, we got to go to jail. Don't let them in.
Audience here, we have to bear responsibility for what's going on now.
What the hell? Did you listen to the cameraman? He said, we got to do what we got to do. He sound like he missing a couple of teeth, too. He sound old school like you. You'll always see him on the block with a beer, a cigarette, and just cracking jokes, sometimes singing old school hymns.
Because for too long, the black community has been voting for the wrong people for too damn long.
No, that's right. Yeah. That's right. Get Michelle ass out.
Voting for state recognition is because they're black.
That's right. Get Michelle ass out.
Okay. Any comments on that?
Oh wow! This was a couple of weeks ago. I was reading an article on this, also in New York, where these mayors are signing these contracts with these hotels, and I think it was called something like hotel associations or something. It's called like that, right?
Okay.
For millions of dollars. So this one article that I was reading out of New York. Mayor Adams had signed a contract with the hotel associations for like $275 million. So
Okay.
they set aside these hotels only for the migrants, right?
Okay.
And these are not cheap hotels. These are the nice 5-star hotels that's anywhere from $300 to $500 a night
Okay.
that they are housing these migrants in. So the reason why you can't get reservations or at this hotel is because they've already been set aside for the migrants because a contract has been signed.
Right.
And that's, guaranteed money, for these hotels. That's all it's about, is the money. They don't care if you fussing about you can't get a room there.
Right.
They don't already receive the money, you know what I'm saying, for housing these immigrants. Yeah.
Okay. And that's
Yeah. And that's the thing, they coming over here getting better treatment than us. You heard him say he want to make sure that they're treated well. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. You got homeless, Americans sleeping out on the sidewalks and in tents and so forth. But these immigrants come across the border and they are bused to some of the nicest hotels in the city.
right. Yeah, that's another thing about that from back in the day, coming up when I was growing up. You see, everything is designed around they ignore the black man. Like I say, so they just 18 hours ago they was wading in the fucking water trying to get across the river. Now they standing outside a expensive motel ignoring the black man.
Right.
He whining, he complaining, but they ain't got to listen to shit he got to say. They just walk past him and go on in the motel.
Right.
That's what's happening to us and everything. They ain't gonna. We ain't got to listen to what you saying. You ain't have no authority, and you know, and your own government ain't to set us up. So we ain't got to hear what you got to say.
Say right, exactly.
And that's in every aspect. Okay, that's the beast system.
Of Silicon Valley Bank, as First Republic Bank failed in late April, and now several other banks have come under considerable market pressure. Shares of Home Street, Metropolitan Bank, and PacWest Bank have declined more than 75% over the last year. Even as the Federal Reserve created the Bank Term Funding Program and offered emergency liquidity to the financial sector, the stress on various regional banks continues. In this video, we'll look at the true problems impacting the regional banking sector and why there will be more bank failures in the months ahead. The business model of a bank is generally described as borrow short and lend long. What that means is that banks borrow money at the short-term interest rates and lend money out at the long-term interest rates. The spread between their long-term loans and short-term funding costs is the profit to the bank. Swedish economist Knut Wicksell suggested that the average yield in the economy is about equal to the BAA corporate bond rate. So the BAA corporate bond rate is the best approximation for the average loan yield or asset yield in the economy. So when a bank loans money or buys bonds, the average yield that they will receive will be about the same as the BAA corporate rate. It takes time for a bank to make loans or reprice their assets, so a 3-year average of this BAA corporate rate can also be used to judge the overall trailing yield in the economy. The surface level problem is that the Federal Reserve has increased interest rates to more than 5%. So Treasury bills, which are the major competition for banks, are offering a very high yield. Many people are moving money out of banks paying 2% to money market funds offering 5%. So banks now have to rapidly increase the rate that they pay on deposits to something closer to their competition at 5%. At a state lending, small for 67% of all bank commercial real estate lending. The value of the properties that many of these small banks have loaned money to is declining. The Commercial Property Price Index published by Green Street Advisors peaked in early 2022. As interest rates have gone up, the price has declined. The commercial property sector has declined about 15% in total. These price declines are not spread out evenly, of course. Some declines are more serious in office buildings, and some sectors are holding up better than others, but every sector is off its peak level, and the price declines as a total sector are the largest in the last 15 years. As bank lending has become unprofitable, with no spread between short-term rates and average yields in the economy, and as banks have experienced volatile deposit outflows, commercial real estate loan growth at these small banks has slowed from 15 or 20% to just 2 or 3% over the last 12 weeks. So banks are facing two problems. Treasury bills and money market funds are offering nearly 5% and are serious competition for bank deposits. Individual banks will face deposit outflows if they don't raise the interest rates that they are willing to pay customers. The cost of funds for certain banks will then rise above the interest that they can earn on their asset portfolio and severely pressure bank profitability. This problem will last for as long as the Federal Reserve holds interest rates high and the yield curve remains deeply inverted. The second problem is that the value of the assets, specifically some of the commercial
So in other words, what this guy is breaking down is real soon it's going to see a whole truckload of banks collapse all at once at one time. It's in the when you look at what he's saying and the rate of where in the direction it's going in, you're going to see a lot of banks closing up. Okay. Any comments on that? Okay. Got a little need to know information right here.
I guess percentage-wise, I saw some little clip of Oprah. I was like, wow, I didn't know that.
Recently, D.L. Hughley would share a video that shows Black men sitting down to have a talk with Black women to express how they feel about dating them. Some of the men would say that it can be difficult dealing with a Black woman and how it's easier to talk to some white women. The viral clip comes from 1 week after Ebony K. Williams' comments on how she would not date a bus driver, but someone who owns the bus. By the end of the week, the conversation dealing with relationships and preferences shifted to Black ownership, excellence, and mediocrity in the workplace. Hughley's own commentary on the topic was, if you can't support me when I'm driving the bus, you don't deserve to sit next to me when I'm pushing the Bentley. Today we have our company hype analysts, Yamanika Saunders and Pierre, calling in to give their thoughts and reactions. But first, let's take a look at this clip.
I always talk to Black women, they don't want to talk to me. The minute I talk to a white woman, they get mad. You want to think you're mad? I'm mad too. Black women talk about me. What about us Black men? We go through stuff too. We're tired of hearing the same thing of, oh, we're independent women. We're independent this. I'm independent too. We have a lot in common. You have this imaginary wall around you. I don't know who damaged you. And me being a Black man, I have to suffer for what somebody did to you. That has nothing to do with me. I get that a lot from Black women that we're the enemy, we're liars, cheaters, we're dogs. I am a mad Black man. I have a journal I keep, and then when I show this side to women, they think it's a weakness. This is not a weakness, it's actually a strength. But then when I show this to you, to Black women, you don't know how to receive it. Yeah. Because you're so used to being abused. It makes it hard for me to get to know this.
Now, obviously, this is a small clip from a larger episode, but from that clip, it's going viral. A lot of people are talking about it. So, Pierre, I'm going to bring you in. What are your thoughts? What was your initial reaction after seeing it?
Well, it's funny. I looked at the comments. The homeboy was kind of got emotional about it. Understood. That's how he feels. But how people are clowning for showing his emotion. Oh, clown ass, goofy ass, nigga, crying ass, nigga. Like, good Lord. I mean, good Lord, the brother poured out his heart and how he felt about the scenario. Look how he got dogged. That's why men hold stuff in a lot of times. But he's right though. Women have hijacked the whole thing of me, take care of me before I can help take care of you. But I don't blame women because it's been written forever. You heard some happy wife, happy life. A man find a wife, he find a good thing. A diamonds are a woman's best friend. What do men get? Dog is the man's best friend? Damn. Did y'all get all that? So you already hijacked that. Y'all feel this. Y'all already entitled to get me, take care of me. Not me take care of you, me. Now look, I didn't say every single woman, but just the whole frame of it is take care of me. Take care of me. I don't have to take care of you. You got to take care of me first. And then whatever's left over then, I'll take care of you. That's how, that's how I think society looks at stuff. And it was built that way because men have more money and get jobs and all that kind of stuff. But emotionally, it's a thing that if you don't take care of each other emotionally, it's going to have a wreck, a wreck relationship.
Yeah. Yamanika, let me bring you in. Same thing for you. Once you saw this clip, surface online, what was your reaction to it?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll be turning that shit off right away. I'm not gonna listen to nothing that's spearheaded by Iyanla Vanzant. I don't understand where she came off being the woman that was telling women how to get a man. She don't have no man. And what I find hypocritical is that these people constantly bring up how certain black women don't have men, but the woman that they now are holding up as their leader don't have no man. This is the same woman who also was dealing with a regular dude. And look what that got her. So, I mean, it just, when I talk about the hypocrisy, I hear what that brother's saying, right? He upset. Black women are upset too. When he has to also be, when he goes, who hurt you? Who do you think hurt her? Somebody that looked like you. Obviously, there's a pain that is coming from Black women that is being experienced from them having experiences with Black men, whether it be their fathers, whether it be some men in their life, right? And then that becomes a representation. Again, the hypocrisy. I don't understand why he can't see where they would be hurt when it's okay for Black men to constantly say how they feel about Black women, and that's based on some representation that they had with some experience of Black women in their lives. Also, I'm tired of this narrative, this guy talking about, I can't help it that I play flute and walk on the beach and play piccolo with my toes and the violin. That's why I got the violin here. Play me a violin. There's too many women out here that love a sensitive dude like that. All my girlfriends would love it. Do you play 20 instruments? Oh, you the Black Kitty G? We would love a man like that. Why are you not finding women who don't want a man like you have to be real about the narrative. As women, we know what women like, and a woman would love a man like that. Women do like men who are sensitive. We do like men who communicate. Those are the things that we ask about all the time. So you are going to miss me with these lies that all these Black women want are thugs that are beating their ass night and day and don't have no decorum.
I think what he's really saying was that women have we're talking about Black women now, so don't go with us. Black women have a barrier in front of them. And yes, she might like that, but the barrier the man has to get through to get to find out that the woman likes all that, sometimes it's too tough. You know, you walk by and say, how you doing, young lady? Yeah. You're like, all right, or whatever the case may be. If it's that kind of energy, then men don't want to go through that wall. And that's what it is. So everybody misses out on stuff.
Okay. Comments on that so far? Anybody got any comments?
Not yet, sir.
Okay.
I think what Black men have to also remember is that they also participate in creating the narrative that Black women have about them. I can tell you right now in Harlem, I walk out here, I see so many Black men out here with women who aren't Black. It's crazy. Out here in Harlem, that's supposed to be like Black zone. Okay. So yeah, a lot of my girlfriends and I do have conversations. We go, well, he looks like he don't talk to Black women because Black men have created this sort of narrative on, you know, the type of brother that's going to be out here insulting Black women. People, listen, when we are out in the jungle of life, we are supposed to know the people that are our prey or are dangerous to us. And I think Black women have done a very good job knowing who they can be vulnerable with and who they can't be vulnerable with, so that we protect some parts of our spirit, because there is no small group there's no small opportunities where Black women will present themselves to Black men and find themselves either being insulted, rejected, or abused.
So I want to read this comment and get you all's thoughts on it. Here's what a user had to say. This whole beef between Black men and women has been sensationalized by social media. It's silly at this point. Look around you in your own families and communities. Black folks are living with each other, married with children, creating families. People in general go through sugar honey iced tea, and this is not unique in the Black race. I've never seen a clip of white men and women generalizing each other. This is an agenda to separate the Black family. Ignore this BS and focus on your own lives and the person you are with. Pierre, I'm going to come to you, bring that question. What do you think? Do you think there is a real issue between Black men and Black women? Or do you think it's just something that's constantly being pushed into the media?
Right now, businesses are facing tough choices. Do you satisfy shareholders?
Okay, you comment?
What that guy said, you know, we should get past it, but we live in a real world here. We're real people. You know, it's easy to say, just forget about it. Is there a problem between men and women? Sure. Doesn't mean just Black people, but we're focusing on Black today. So before I hear everybody, white people, Mexicans, I don't really talk about them. I'm talking about Black folks again. Is there? Yes, and it has been pushed, you know, by social media or by television, by the media, period. You know, I was surprised to find out recently that there are more Black men in the household, you know, than white men. You know, I guess percentage-wise. I saw some little clip of Oprah. I was like, wow, I didn't know that, because I wasn't fed. You know, I see what I see around myself. I don't know every human being, every Black person in America, but it's not fake. It's just what it is. It's just, you know, we do have like you said, social media is pushing it more than it needs to be pushed. We need to not listen to everybody speak about how black women and black men don't get along. And let's uplift and show more black positive images of people getting together like that. And I think that'll help fuel more and say, hey, look at that over there, man. Every sister ain't like that. Every man ain't like that. You know, in the negative way. Every man ain't negative, every woman ain't negative. There are beautiful black families. Look at how when the Cosby Show popped up, it became a #1 show because people want to see that. We want to see that more than we want to see the negative. There's a section that want to see just negative images of black men and women. But I think if we propel and push and find solutions of how to make black couples come together or show more black couples in a positive light, I think it'll help.
Okay. Any comments on that?
Yeah, I would like to comment on that, Mr. Leonard. We heard 2 black women speaking. Now, one black woman was soft-spoken, and the other one sounded a little masculine. Is it just me? But more men want feminine women instead of masculine women. And that other one, that woman that was speaking, sounded masculine.
Okay. Right. Yeah, that goes back to, like I said, we live in the beast system, and from the time we born, the whole time we living, they are pumping estrogen in the man, and they pumping well, I can't think of that chemical that they from men, testosterone in women. They do that at birth. They pumping it. They giving the girl testosterone shots, and the boys giving them estrogen shots. And then estrogen is in the water. That's why you see this a shift. And these men's personalities starting to go toward, they got a more soft or toned down version of what men are. It's all a plot, a plan. Yeah.
That would explain the skinny jeans that the men are wearing.
Oh yeah, and then Hollywood, the Hollywood agenda too. So, yeah. So
I got something I want to ask something right quick. Let me ask something right quick. You heard me? You hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So this is not the curses?
Yeah, it's part of it.
Like we could, you know what I'm saying? Like what we doing, we you know what I'm saying? We trying to scientifically break this understanding down. whether it's through, estrogen that's being pumped, that these people have, every right to do whatever wickedness that they're choosing to do because they are the wicked and things of that nature. These are so Deuteronomy 28, right? Deuteronomy 28 and verse Deuteronomy 28 and 30. Right? To the men, it's a let me find it. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 30. It says, "Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof." So all of this is a reflection of, these promises, these blessings, i.e. curses, that was put on us in the first place. So we're listening to people who have no knowledge and wisdom. All they have is emotion, talking about what they feel they deserve and what they feel something is. But nobody is ever looking to say, yo, maybe we cursed.
Okay. Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think it's you got the like he said, the ones that trembling at his word, the ones that seeking his word, intensely seeking his word with zeal and all that. I think they seeing it. But you got people like I said, you got copycats. They just go along with the program. Anything that the powers that be come up with, they engage. And a prime example is heroin and crack cocaine. I mean, you see you can say, well, your cousin or your brother, you can see what it does to them. Well, how in the hell did you dealing with it after you saw what it done to your cousin and your brother? And then you see one generation, another one still doing the same thing. They just, it's not, and they're approaching the scriptures with the prophecy, right? There's Isaiah 44, 1-5, that he's going to pour his spirit out on the Israelites in the last days. And the reason being is a group of Israelites out there that's thirsty and searching his word out and searching the God Israel out. So he poured his spirit out and it's going to fall on them. Well, you got the rest of them that's copycat. They don't really have that zeal, that spirit for the Most High, but they see it in operation, so they want to be, because they're copycats, they just follow along. And that same thing applies to a prayer. When you pray, it ain't gonna get answered if you're not doing it in sincerity, with zeal and sincerity in your heart. It's just, you just talking loud and ain't saying nothing. But if you sincere with zeal and fervor in your heart for the God of Israel, then it's heard. Same thing, seeking for knowledge. You praying for knowledge is, if it's not as seriously in your heart, you ain't gonna get no response.
I agree with that, Mr. Leonard. I agree with that. Like I was saying, monkey see, monkey do. So these women and men too, they take on a persona, that masculine. It's not everybody, but they see it and they take on it. Same thing with the men, same thing with the homosexuality, the transgender, and everything else. You correct.
Right. And like I'm saying, we see from research and what we've been dealing with, we see that the origins of homosexuality, like I said, it's angelic being with their DNA ain't the same as ours. Their molecular makeup ain't like ours. That's why the Creator said that He didn't want them coming down here mingling with us, but they did. And the reason why when they made that did that transaction, that's what brought homosexuality on the planet. So now that these people coming out of the woodwork or who they really are, now you got people that have nothing to do with it, following their lead. Talking about they born that way. No, you copycat. Because they done made laws and put all this in place that is cool. Now all of a sudden, you gay. Come on.
Yeah, it's total confusion out here, y'all. It's bad, especially for the younger generations. Like I just watched this video of this creature. So this creature is nah, I ain't gonna say this creature is completely tatted up. No hair. Short buzz looking cut, and it had its breast removed. Okay, so you could see the scars that are running across its chest area. So the whatever ducts that breasts have and whatever information that the brain is supposed to send that area to the female, all of that is gone. So this is a woman who now has pectorals. She has a pectoral muscular structure across her chest now. And they're making this video. And while they're completely exposed, there's no shirt on, no nothing, with tats everywhere, completely exposed. And they're, how I guess the muscle men would bounce their pecs and stuff like that. Wow. This creature is bouncing its pecs, and it's telling women that I'm not trying to be a man. Think about that psychology. I'm not trying to be a man, and it's bouncing its pecs, and it's saying, I am better than a man because I know what you need. This is what it's saying. You know, this is what we're dealing with right now.
Right. And that goes back to, like I said, that he told us that this knowledge that they got on the earth now that most people seeking after, ain't none of the knowledge came from heaven. They didn't just like the diamond. You know, the African on the continent was kicking diamonds around. Then De Beer and Cecil Rhodes came and made the diamond something. Now you got Negroes killing each other behind diamonds when the diamond wasn't shit. It's the same thing with that. Is they elevated it to where it's at and put some kind of emphasis on it. And, you know, which is tied to even in a relationship. You know, they didn't tie emotion. You know, they didn't put emotion as a number one factor in it. And it ain't got shit to do with. A lot of it ain't got nothing to do with emotion. If you got, you know what I mean? It's covenant. Most High is part of Most High's covenant. So if you didn't got into a covenant with somebody, it's more to it. It's more than you know, how you feel or how they making you feel or what they not giving you or all this bullshit. It ain't got nothing to do with it. And that's
right.
What,
the biggest destroyer of discipline is a person's emotion. So I'm not going to be disciplined based off how I feel.
Right, exactly. Right. And so a prime example of that, which I say that they do, they pour it in our face on a daily basis through Hollywood, was their original roots. When they first, if you notice, that first 15, 20 minutes when it first came on, they were showing where these men, Israelite men, was on the west coast of Africa. They had these little white like diapers on, and they had a whole school system in place for the males, the boys. And they had, when they got to 12, I think it was the age of when he became a man. You know, you know how the norm is, the girl is always going to be connected to the father, and the son connected to the mama until they get to a certain age. So that was allowed. But when that boy became 12, the system they had in place that was cut off. Same way with when the Most High, he had to put Adam to sleep, take the feminine qualities out of him and make a woman. So same way with that, after you get 12, you can no longer do that bullshit. It's cut off. Now it's time for you to start being a man, and now it's time to start directing your energy towards your father, not towards your mama where you're getting babysitted. Yeah. So and then she no longer. She got limited access to him after that. And so that's a lot of the stuff we done lost. That we just coming up nilly-willy. And we know there ain't no structure to and because it's phases. It's phases in growing up. You know, when with our culture it was phases. And you had to go through those phases, and you know, and then you get a whether it's a woman or a man, you get a righteous man, you get a virtuous woman when you go through those processes. But all that's been taken away. And we living in, like he said in the curses, we living amongst them nilly-willy. Yeah.
Right. It's the same thing. Like me and Markel was just talking about that earlier. It was like, yo, men, we don't go through rites of passage anymore.
Right. Exactly.
You know, so it was like, you know, I watched that movie Australia, and the Caucasian woman, she couldn't understand why the little Aboriginal boy had to go on something called walkabout. It didn't make sense to her. Right. You know, but he had to go on. He was like you said, 12 years old of age, if not 9 or 10 or 11, and he had to go on a rites of passage to become a man. And the Aboriginals call it, they have to go walkabout.
Right.
But these things are commonplace in our cultures nowadays. So we wouldn't. So a lot of us as men have a hard understanding of what it is to be a man. So like you just said earlier, you know, emotion is now the new discipline. Right. So discipline and understanding what discipline is actually removed, and now it's all emotion based. So this is the way of the wicked. This is how they move. So we've been trained on their culture.
Right. And so another thing, a prime example, you got two examples. The first one is, okay, the wine. I told you the fruit of the vine, the fruit of the wine that was given to Israel. When you start dealing with go back to Genesis, he said it was water over the whole earth. And Yahweh separated the water. Part of it is in lakes and streams and rivers and seas, and the other part is in the heavens. The other half he brought to the heavens is in vapor form. So he controlling that by the plants and the animals. He rained on them. He bring the rain, the former rain, latter rain. So when you understand all that, it brings about the grape. Then from the grape, they make the wine. So David, we was talking about how David, when he was a little boy, he killed the lion and the bear and all that, eventually killed Goliath. So now he done went through all them phases with the Creator. Like I said, a shepherd is a lonely life. Nobody was out there with him. You know, his brothers are somewhere else. So then he gets to the point where he done been made king. Now he's bringing his God that's been dealing with him all his life, into Jerusalem. He bring the Lord of Hosts Ark into the Jerusalem. So he dancing out his clothes. He got the wine that the Most High gave him, and he dancing out his clothes. But Michelle, his wife, sitting up there hollering, say he looked like a fool. So imagine that. And then you got to go to Solomon. He been raised by David, wisest man on the planet, but he done got coerced by these women to bring in their gods. When he know damn well he can't bring the gods in, but you got to look at the process. They had to been constantly nagging and coercing him till he finally made those. He put the images all over Jerusalem. It ain't something that just happened overnight. They had to constantly kept on harassing him, because we see how he came up. He came, like I was saying before, nobody deal with Jesse. Jesse wasn't that nice. David's father. So his grandfather, David, would raise him. So how the hell did he get from that to putting idols in Jerusalem? Whole idols. He putting images up all over Jerusalem. And nobody deals with that.
And that's the same process of how they did with the welfare system.
Right.
It's slowly processed, getting the man out the house.
Right. They coming in with emotion, like Ahaz and Jezebel. You know, these, I mean, he says, we see in the scriptures in 1st, 2nd Chronicles, 1st, 2nd, he says, and this boy did that what was right. Well, how in the hell the one that's doing wrong, how you get to that point? They all coming out of David's lineage. They coming from Jesse, David, you know what I'm saying? And Solomon, they coming from these righteous men. How you getting cyborg? That's the process. Like I said, he coming in with the emotional part of it. It ain't nothing about when a man is sitting out with watching a flock of sheep and a bear or a lion show up. What's emotional about that? Come on. Ain't nothing emotional about that. It's about his relationship with the Creator and him believing that the Creator is going to help him deliver him from his battle. And it got nothing to do with emotion. And that's where we get cyborg at. Nothing whatsoever to do with emotion. It's like I said, even when he saw Goliath, first thing he remembered is his relationship with the Creator. How he killed the bear, how he killed the lion. So Goliath wasn't nothing. Yeah. And we, you know, those things, that's like, you know, forgetting about the curses, like what was mentioned earlier. You forgetting our predicament and forgetting our culture and where we at and our God. You forgetting that. When you get picked, when you get in the jam, you forgetting that. Instead of that should be the first thing that comes to your mind. The Creator and you know, our God. He keeps telling us over and over again, was there any other God like me? Keep asking us that all through the scriptures. And the answer is no. Yeah. So, anybody got any comment, questions, anything else? We're going to open it up for Q&A. Anybody got any questions about anything?
Yeah, I'm a question on that video I was listening. I watched that earlier, and you know, listen to what you were saying just now is the truth. I know I seen a part of it, and that's that. I think that was that interview that black woman, that Oprah, that made a star.
Yeah. Right.
So she had this open conversation with young black men and women and things of that nature, and you know, she made it a point where she was always correcting the brother, you know, and how he is supposed to behave. That's out of order. But besides that, it was like, you know, you had one of the young brothers up there crying, and he was in tears talking about, you know, and I'm sitting there like, yo, my man, that's off. You know, I'm like, why are you crying because of this is how they are? Like, you know, it's your name. You're supposed to understand this. You know, you're supposed to know what it is now. Like, that's your job, is to understand how the woman is operating, you know, especially dealing with this society that we in. So to be emotional, bro, you out of pocket, like, you know what I'm saying? I think about that time and time again. It's like, yo, we lost what discipline was. So, you know, now we have to deal with emotion. So this is the problem that we're facing out here. And, you know, we never equate any of that to saying, yo, we're cursed. So you got a lot of people running around here wondering why black folk can't get nowhere. And it's like, yo, you got to do the math. You got to go back and read certain things, and that'll give you the understanding as to why our predicament is what it is. You know, so you're using a culture, you're using a wisdom and a knowledge that doesn't pertain to you. You know, so the problem is the curses and the blessings, which means that these people are using your blessing and you're in a curse at the same time. And I think that's the conundrum is, you know, we're not understanding how that works. You know, so all these other nations is going to use what you're just naturally blessed with in being. But the God you worship told you you're under a curse. So we're constantly saying, you know, well, everybody else is living a certain way. Well, if I just pull myself up by my bootstraps and, you know, I get to working harder and things, I'll get what they accomplish. And it's like, nah. So this is where that sacred knowledge comes in. So, you know, them people on them sacred societies will let a certain amount trickle through to make you believe that you can attain this amount of wealth and recognition. But the truth of the matter is the God that you worship, quote unquote, told you you're under a curse. So you bring JC into the picture now, and now you think you on an equal playing field with the rest of these folks. And that's where your confusion begins. Because you're believing something that's not true, and you're gonna do whatever you can to do to obtain it. Understand, that's the quintessential definition of a drug addict. If y'all really understand what I'm saying, because the drug addict is constantly trying to get that high again. But he's never gonna get it, but he'll chase it, or she'll chase it. for the rest of their life. So yeah, think about it like that, you know.
Right. Yeah. So like I was saying, you look at like I was saying with those Mexicans in the motel, blacks can be out there protesting outside. They gonna just walk by them because in a normal situation, uh, black men especially are imposing figures. So you're gonna say just like when you see a lion in the jungle, you're gonna feel a certain type of way. It's the same way with the black man. That's why he catches so much hell. But they didn't neutralize him. So all they gotta do is, we ain't gotta hear what he gotta say. He imposing, but we gonna walk on by and go on in the motel. And we ain't gotta hear what he gotta say. So reason I'm saying that is, like I said, with David, you see, whereas somebody else can check David on something and it might not really faze him. But if Jesse, or check him, it's a different ball game. And that's what they didn't do. The Most High, we the judges on the planet, but we won't have no say so. We can't say nothing about nothing, nobody being charged. And so I was watching this Viking movie. To give you a prime example, is this guy had like 4 sons, right? 2 different women, but 3 of them was for this one lady. Well, the youngest boy, when he was born, had issues with his legs. He was kind of like a handicap, like. So the mama was really, really babysitting him. And the mother boys, they kind of felt sorry for him at first, but she had started when the boy he got like 12 years old, and she was hiding in different places. She was still breastfeeding him. He 10 years old, 12 years old, and she was still breastfeeding him. And one of the boys, the middle son, caught her because she was hiding from him, and so he caught her. And then he turned around and he saw his brother was looking at him what he was doing. And then they got away from the mama and they got outside and he was telling him, and he said, "You act like you got a problem with me. What's wrong? Why you got a problem with me?" He said, "Nigga, you still, you know what I mean? You still getting breast milk. Why you think I've got a problem? You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. You way behind. You what, 11 years behind time. You still on your mama breast milk. Come on, that's crazy." And that's a lot of the things I'm talking about now. You got, the man can't say nothing. You sitting there looking at the boy, and you see y'all track, but he can't say nothing. The mama come in and say, "Leave him alone," and then you can't. That authority and that authority and that power that the Creator gave you, you can't use it. Which is go back to the curses, but it's not being implemented. So the kid go on.
Right.
He handicapped, but he don't realize you handicapped because you're not dealing with the masculine and the power from what was given to your father and your grandfather. You ain't dealing with it because there's a blockade in there. Same with the daughter too. It's like getting artificial dirt, trying to grow a garden with artificial dirt. You don't have the actual soil that's the leaves and the compost and all this stuff, and then rot it in there and it's fertile. You go get a bag of dirt, and then you try to grow something with it. You don't understand why it's not growing because it ain't nothing in the dirt.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Yeah. And that's where we at. I sit there and look at.
Yeah, you definitely right. That's where we are.
Right. Even your boys. Even you're a man and you got 2 or 3 partners, and they, birds of a feather flock together. So both of y'all sort of rough around the corners. Well, that's part of it too. Your friends being around the kid, the boy ain't getting that. He being hijacked. The daddy can't say nothing to him. His friends can't say nothing to him. He walked by them because his mama got him hemmed up, but you can't say nothing to him.
Right. Can't say nothing. Be like, yo, can't be like, yo, this is what it is. And they're looking at you like, huh? What do you mean? You know? And you know, and in many ways, you may find the ones that will say, wow, you're different because you got your mother and your father.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them will come out and be like, yo, all I had was my mother.
Right.
You know, so they're understanding that they off. They know, and that's the thing that people aren't paying attention to is that these youth, they know they off.
Right.
And they acting out on that fact that they off based off of decisions that was made for them, so to speak. But, you know, it's like, were these decisions really made for them? Or were they made because of the emotions of the parents? You know, and that's something that we're not really piercing into to gain an understanding of what's really going on with our youth.
Right. And then it's just like DNA. And like I was saying, it's the seasons. The Most High, not he ain't sitting around watching the seasons. He set them in motion. Spring, summer, winter, fall. He set it in motion. He ain't got to sit around and watch it. In the same way with DNA. Like I said before, how in the hell Esau got red hair? So somebody, when you understand DNA, somebody with red hair had to have some kind of dealings with Rebecca. He ain't just gonna get no damn red hair out the blue. Somebody you gotta have, you know, if all your seed line before you had woolly hair and you know didn't have that much hair on their body, now here all of a sudden this dude come out with red hair. It don't work like that. So,
hairy all over, yeah. Hairy all over.
Right. So the same thing with our situation. If you got a mother that got a boy or two boys or whatever, and she didn't get along with her husband. Well, the society that we had, even back in the day, like the lady was saying about Harlem and Chicago in the back in the day, it was an uncle there. Or granddad, it was always another male was gonna step up in that part, but they didn't dilute all that. It was always another male was gonna fill it in, just like DNA. DNA gonna do what it do. Our culture gonna do what it do when it's in full operation. But they didn't dilute it. Yeah.
Right. It turned into on to the next. Right. You know, it turned into don't sit there and contemplate.
Right.
Hurry up because we're moving on to something else.
Right. And then emotion. Like I said, you can't talk to my son like that. It's a roughneck down the road that don't mean him no harm, but he trying to get his mind right, but he can't talk to him. Or he can't talk to her. See what I'm saying? And that's what those are all checks and balances that has been discarded. Yeah.
Right. And that's in right now, 2023, still going on.
Exactly. That's where we went wrong. Okay. Any other comments on that? I got a little something right here to play then. Or we go into the discussion.
House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer has just named 9 of Joe Biden's family members who have received payments from international business dealings done by the Biden
They just done
family.
this today.
The list of names Comer provided include Hunter Biden, the president's brother James Biden, Sarah Biden, his wife, 3 of Hunter Biden's lovers, and 2 of his brother Beau's children. Elon Musk had a brilliant reaction on Twitter. He stated the list of family members who didn't receive money is probably shorter than those that did receive money. Comer himself specifically called attention to the fact that Biden's grandchildren received payments. Why do you think the Bidens would have no money from Joe Biden, but instead were secretly funneled to his different grandchildren's bank accounts? What's going on here? Why does Joe's grandchildren need to receive money from Romania, China, or Ukraine? But the evidence doesn't stop there. The Oversight Committee also found the Biden family has received a total of $10 million in payments from foreign national companies, many of which were paid out while Biden was still vice president. Despite Biden's continued denial of receiving money from China, the evidence seems to be irrefutable at this point. If Biden is found guilty of peddling influence in exchange for money, he will be impeached. Then we will have to decide if he will be covered up or impeached. When I first reported on this story, it was $1 million, and people in the comments blasted me as a Biden hater. I was just sharing the news. Now it's 10 times as much money and 9 times as many people. More and more, it looks like the president was peddling influence with the Biden name while serving as vice president. Reactions from popular Republicans regarding Trump's guilty verdict yesterday have been varied. Let us start with former Vice President Mike Pence. He stated he personally never heard or witnessed behavior of that type from Trump while the two of them served together. However, potential presidential candidates Chris Christie and Asa Hutchinson have both rallied against Trump and say they believe the accuser. What do you think? Do you think those two really believe this, or is it because they are running against him for president? Donald Trump himself has entirely denied the accusations and is still planning to appear on CNN tonight. Last night, Trump stated, "I'll be doing CNN tomorrow night, live from the great state of New Hampshire," because they are rightfully desperate to get those fantastic Trump ratings once again. They may be a deal I couldn't refuse, could be the beginning of a new and vibrant CNN with no more fake news, or it could turn out to be a disaster for all, including me. When he says a deal he couldn't refuse, do you think CNN is giving him a boatload of money to risk his reputation and come on the news? At least Trump has acknowledged he could likely be walking into a trap. Democrat presidential candidate Robert Kennedy Jr. has attempted to distance himself from Republicans, as he has confirmed that under no circumstances would he consider being a running mate with Donald Trump. He stated, "Our position on certain fundamental issues, our approaches to governance, and our philosophy of leadership could not be further apart. While RFK does claim to be a Democrat, some of his beliefs lean too far right from modern-day Democrats, and many are saying, yeah, you're an old-school Democrat like your uncle John F. Kennedy, but you have very little in common with a 2024 Democrat, not to mention the fact Big Pharma hates his guts." Russia is preparing to evacuate more than 3,000 staff and family members from the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in southern Ukraine. According to Ukraine's energy provider, they have warned that the evacuation could have catastrophic consequences, as it would leave the plant without the necessary personnel to operate it safely. In fact, the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, has stated that it is gravely concerned about the situation at the plant and has called on Russia to stop its shelling and allow staff to return to their post. The big worry is that the plant could leave Ukraine without power, but the bigger worry is that there could be an explosion that sends nuclear dust all across Europe and the rest of the globe. There's also worry about a nuclear meltdown contaminating the region. So without the proper know-how of how to run a nuclear power danger, that this could be a disaster. Elon Musk has broken his silence regarding Tucker Carlson's decision to launch his new show on Twitter. Musk stated, "I want to be clear that we have not signed a deal of any kind whatsoever. Twitter is subject to the same rules and rewards of all content creators." While Musk seemingly leans Republican, or at least moderate to conservative, he has been very adamant that he does want both sides to participate in the discussion, and he is being truthful, as he has also called for fired CNN host Don Lemon to also start a new show on Twitter, citing that Twitter has a much bigger audience than CNN ever had. President Joe Biden claimed his administration had cut the deficit by $1.7 trillion, but after doing research, he's been given a Pinocchio for lying to the American people. The deficit did decrease in 2021, but it was due to a number of factors, including the end of the COVID pandemic, a stronger than usual economy, Biden's policies such as the American Rescue Plan, and the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. So some factors made it look like Biden had the deficit under control, so he decided to take credit for that. But now it's rolling back on him, and they're pointing out it had nothing to do with you. And in fact, the new projected deficit is $1.3 trillion. And this is crazy. This is crazy. We're going to hear from Marjorie Taylor Greene in a minute, basically on the alleged crimes from the Biden crime family. They have subpoenaed, the House Oversight Committee has now subpoenaed the FBI for June 2020 documents that reportedly include information on an alleged criminal scheme involving then Vice President Joe Biden and a former foreign national relating to the exchange of money for policy decisions, a pay-for-play money laundering. Well, let me just read further in this document here. So Comer, who is the committee chair, who's issued this subpoena, says that a whistleblower provided the information on the alleged bribery scheme with a foreign national. So a whistleblower came forward to reveal this information.
Okay. Any comments on that? Anybody heard anything about that?
No,
Oh
sir, I
yeah,
haven't.
definitely, man. I stayed paying attention to this whole thing. There was a couple so-called news conferences by lawyers and lawyer officials that was dealing with this like he just said, the Biden crime family. You know,
Right.
so that's exactly what they are. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all criminals. That's when we gonna pay attention. This whole country's been run for the longest by criminals. You know, they're telling you what righteousness is. No, they're all criminals. So your whole perception of what good is and what just is, it's all from criminals. They all criminals.
Right. Okay. That's something. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So anybody else got any comments on that? Yeah, like I was saying earlier when I first got on here, what I'm doing, and I'm just jumping off tonight, but to the Sabbath class and the evening Sabbath class, I'm gonna deal with this newfound information I came across, and it's actually it's called it's a new what you call it? I guess a book or scroll, whatever you want to call it, but it's called the Writings of Abraham. Anybody ever heard of that?
I haven't.
Yeah, it was found in Egypt in 1831, and then it was translated by this guy named James Bryant. So what I did was when I came across it, I went to eBay like I always do, and to Amazon, and it was nothing found. So then I Googled it, and they got a PDF of it. So I'm gonna print that out. I guess tomorrow when I go get some I gotta get some ink for my printer. So anyway, the reason why I'm bringing it up, like I was saying the other day about waiting on the Lord of hosts, you know, and because he's gonna bring you the information to you, especially when you're in the right spirit and you're in the right place with him. You know, you got zeal and all this stuff. So everything I have been saying, like I was saying, you gotta ask yourself, how in the hell did I see it? You know what I mean? So what I'm gonna do is start reading. It's called Writings of Abraham, and you'll see a lot of the things I've been talking about. It says, chapter 1, I, Abraham, was born, son of Terah, who was prime minister to Nimrod, who reigned in Ur of the Chaldeans. See that? So Nimrod reigned in Ur of the Chaldeans. That's where Abraham came from, right? So anyway, 2. Now, this Nimrod was a wicked man and an idolater, and my father was led to follow after his abomination. Moreover, Nimrod was a man of mighty power, for he was master mayhem, and had in his hand, look at this, check it out. And moreover, Nimrod was a man of mighty power, for he was master mayhem, and he had in his hands the secrets of the ancients. And they had come down from Cain, wherein he knew the words of the power. He knew the words of the power and the signs for using them, and he had the holy garment which had been given unto Adam in a garden, in which was great power. So what are they telling you? I told you that Melchizedek is a title. Melchizedek, Adam was a Melchizedek, and then he passed it on to Enos, and on down to Noah was Melchizedek. Then when Noah passed away, Shem became as Melchizedek, and that's the Melchizedek that Abraham met in Genesis chapter 15. So right here, this master mayhem, that's on the wicked side. That's a title. So it says, moreover, Nimrod was a man of mighty power, for he was master mayhem. See that? That's a title, but it's on the wicked side. and had in his hands the secrets of the ancients. So there go what I was telling you about. So he had this knowledge. So that's why he was seeking the land of Shinar. He had this secret knowledge, and he knew it was in the land of Shinar. He's just like having a blueprint or a map, and he knew where the region. They had a region where it was at. But guess where Shinar is? Shinar is in the region around man, slipping my head. I don't know what's happening, but I'm trying to think of the mountain.
What's that? That's Mesopotamia, Mesopotamia area.
Yeah, the mountain where the 290 went.
Oh, Hermon.
Yeah, Mount Hermon. So that's Mount Hermon. Shinar. I just speak this out. Shinar is at the foot of Mount Hermon. It's in that area. So Nimrod got this. It says right here in verse 3. Moreover, Nimrod was a man of mighty power, for he was master mayhem. This was passed down from Cain all the way down. He master mayhem, and he had in his hands the secrets of the ancients as they had come down, just like Melchizedek coming down to Shem, had come down from Cain, where he knew the words of the power and the signs of using them, and he had the holy garment which he had been given unto Adam in the garden, which was great power. All of this power that Nimrod used to gain after the manner of the secret combinations. That's what we're dealing with now. We're in a predicament. We're in the same knowledge, right? So 5, with his power, he had set out to build a tower which would reach to heaven, even the city of my father Enoch, which had been taken up, that he, Nimrod, might dispose God from his throne, and for God had taken up his abode among the people of Enoch. Okay. So I don't know if anybody caught that.
Yeah, I did. I did. I was about to ask you on that right quick.
What's that?
So Nimrod just told you what lineage he come from.
Right. Let me read it again. See, with his power.
Right.
With his power. I don't know what's going on with this mic. There's somebody mic doing that? It says, moreover, Nimrod was a man of mighty power. No, okay, 5. With his power, he had set out to build a tower which would reach into heaven, even the city of my father Enoch.
Right, that's what I mean. So he's telling you what lineage he come from. He come from Cain.
Right, Cain built a city.
Built the city named Enoch after his son.
And we read in the book of Lamech what was going on in that city. Right?
Yes, sir.
We read where those wicked angels was coming down. Same with Sodom and Gomorrah. Right? So it says 6. But God frustrated the plans of Nimrod by confounding the languages of him and his people, that they could no longer remember the sacred words. See that? And now we see why he confounded the language. They could no longer remember the sacred words, and they scattered forth over the face of the earth. At that time, Nimrod came and established the city of Ur, which is in the city of lights, for he yet retained his determination to build a city to rival the city of God, that the light and the power might center in him. And through the ministration of Satan, he did receive again some of the words of the power, and did recognize the secret combinations among his people. But he had no power as at the first, for the fullness of the pure language was not restored to him according to the decree of the Most High God. Okay. Verse 9 says, chapter 1, verse 9 says, now in all wickedness of Nimrod, my father stood by his side, for he was deceived by the subtle cunning and the power which Nimrod possessed. So I'll read that again. Now in all the wickedness of Nimrod, my father stood by his side, for he he has the seed, for he was deceived by the subtle cunning of and power which Nimrod possessed. So who else was subtle?
The serpent.
Right. So Nimrod got the
beast
same.
of the field.
So Nimrod got the same characteristics as the serpent, right?
Fact.
Yes, sir.
And he got the same characteristics as Cain. So go back up to verse 8. And through the ministration of Satan. See that? So we're gonna keep going. You're gonna it should register in a minute. So it says, my father Terah was the son of Nahor, and Nahor was the son of Serug. Serug was the son of Reu, and Reu was the son of Peleg, in whose days the earth was divided. Peleg was the son of Eber, who was the son of Eber, who was the son of Shelah, who was the son of Araphat, was the son of Shem, who was Melchizedek, which by interpretation is the king priest, for he was king and priest of the Most High God. Shem, we tell you that point blank right here. Shem was Melchizedek. Verse chapter 3. Noah was the son of Lamech, the son of Methuselah, the son of Enoch, who was taken up with his city, that they might minister unto those in the flesh who sought the higher, in the city and minister unto those flesh who sought higher law than was available to them on the earth. It says, now the birth of Noah, here we go. The birth of Noah, let me get this right quick. Okay, so it says, now the birth of Noah was after this manner. While his father Lamech was journeying toward his home from preaching the gospel among the sons of men. See that? Lamech, Melchizedek. See that? From preaching the gospel among the sons of men, most of whom had rejected his testimony, an angel of the Lord appeared unto him and saluted him, saying, Hail, Lamech, thou favored one of God, for according to the promise of the Lord God of thy father Enoch, thou hast been chosen to be father to him by whom the seed of God will be preserved through the great flood, which is the gods will send upon the earth in judgment. For all the sons of men have gone astray through the corruption of those angels who fell from among the gods and mingled their seed with the daughters of men and begot sons of great strength and mighty wickedness. Yea, these have caused all flesh to corrupt their way before the Lord. Wherefore they shall be destroyed, save thy son, who shall be the seed of the angels. See that? Son, save thy son, who shall be the seed of the angels, right? Okay, chapter 4. The mother of Noah was also the daughter of Methuselah. For Lamech and his wife had the same father, but different mother. And when Noah was born, his body was full of light, which then caused a great consternation to his father and mother and his father's wives and the children in all his house. Moreover, the child stood up upon his feet, and he came forth from the womb, and his tongue was loosed, and he did sing praises unto the Lord, saying, I will praise thee, O Lord, for thou art the source of all power. Yea, the wellspring which is floweth unto the sons of God, and thou art also abounding in wisdom and great and mighty counsel unto the servants. Okay. Nevertheless, thou art a God who is long suffering in judgment. The sins of children of men have come up before thy face, and thy fury have waxed strong, and will be visited with judgment upon the earth. Okay, we did it. Anybody got any comments so far? Okay.
So that was all around like the Tower of Babel.
Oh yeah, we just got more evidence, more information. Okay.
What you reading from?
I'm reading from a PDF. I'm out there. Like I said, I got to get some ink. I'm gonna print it out. It's not on Amazon or eBay.
Hey, Markel.
Yes, sir.
Leonard, that dude that always got the new gear that nobody can get.
I tell him that all the time.
He that dude that just always he fresh to death. Nobody got what he got.
I did something.
Yes, sir.
Verse 6. Therefore shall the earth be destroyed according to the words of God, which cannot fail. For the waters of the flood shall come upon the earth, and all things shall perish from before thy face, O Lord. Nevertheless, in thee do we put our trust, for whatsoever thou doest, O Lord, thou hast ever done justly. Amen. Chapter 5. These things were a source of amazement and concern unto Lamech, which thereupon went unto his father Methuselah, and finding him in the temple, he said, my father, this day did my wife, thy daughter, bear a man child. And in his birth, the room was full of light, so that he could not look upon him. And when we could not look upon him, behold, the child's hair was white, and fire seemed to come forth from his eyes. And then he stood upon his feet and sang a hymn and praised unto the Lord. And lo, he seemed to have the tongue of an angel. Tell me now the meaning of these things and how I can raise such a son. Okay. Chapter 6. Hearing these words, Methuselah too was troubled and said, fear not, my son, for although I know now the meaning of these things, I will go unto my father Enoch, for he is privy to the angels, and he will be able to explain all things unto us. Whereupon Methuselah traveled to the top of the highest mountain, and she could speak unto his father Enoch. And he said unto him, my father, my daughter, who is the wife of my son Lamech, have this day brought forth a man child. And at his birth, the room was full of light, so that they could not look upon him. And when they could look upon him, behold, the child's hair was white, and fire seemed to come forth from his eyes. And then he slid upon his feet and sang to him with praise unto the Lord. And lo, he seemed to have the tongue of an angel. Thus my son Lamech, who was greatly perplexed as to the meaning of these things and how he can raise such a son, right? So it's chapter 7. Hearing this report, Enoch confounded his son Methuselah, saying, fear not, my son, nor fret thyself about this matter, for did not a holy angel visit thy son Lamech and tell him that this should be the seed of the angels? And it was not so, and was it not so? Okay, so it go back to, you can see where they got the JC thing from. He says, hearing this report, Enoch confronted his son Methuselah, saying, fear not, my son, nor fret thyself because of this matter. For did not the holy angel visit thy son Lamech and tell him that this should be the seed of angels? And was it not so? So they go to the marriage situation. See, for this cause have these things happen. But on the 8th day, when the child is circumcised, he shall be covered and shall appear to other men except that his hair shall remain white, as a token that through him the Lord will do a mighty work. This word did Methuselah return to his son Lamech, and he was confident. Okay? And on the 8th day, when the child was circumcised, he was covered, that he became as other men, except that his hair remained white, and they called his name Noah, which by interpretation is comfort, because Lamech said, my heart is comforted to know that my seed shall be preserved through the great flood. Chapter 9. And the child grew and waxed strong in wisdom and mighty in power of the priesthood, for he was initiated into the order of the ancients, that's Melchizedek, in his childhood, and learned the rites and the ordinances and the powers of the priesthood with the signs and tokens and the key words wherewith he could call upon the powers of heaven to combat the forces of the adversary. So I showed you that. Remember, I got this up master of mayhem, which is total opposite of Melchizedek. And when he was come of age, he took 12 wives and we got many sons and daughters who grew up in righteousness and served the Lord all their days. And some died, and others were caught up into the city of Enoch. But in the next generation, they corrupted themselves, and the daughters of Noah's sons did go forth and lay with the sons of men, which things were an abomination in the eyes of God. Wherefore the Lord said unto Noah, behold,
Leonard.
okay.
Yo, read that whole thing again. Read that whole passage right there again.
Yeah, I wanted to
Dealing with
hear
the
that
daughters,
too.
Yeah,
that daughters that got caught up in the city of Enoch.
That's what I wanted to hear too. The city of Enoch, because it was two Enochs, right?
Right.
And they're caught up. So it's like a sin in that Enoch.
Right. It says, and the child grew and waxed strong in wisdom and mighty in power of the priesthood, for he was initiated into the order of the ancients. In his childhood, and learned the rights and ordinance of the powers of the priesthood with the signs and the tokens and the key words wherewith we could call upon the powers of heaven to combat the forces of the adversary. And when he was come of age, he took 12 wives, and we got many sons and daughters who grew up in righteousness and served the Lord all their days. And some died, and others were caught up unto the city of Enoch. But in the next generation, they corrupted themselves. For the daughters of Noah's sons did go forth and lay with the sons of men, which then was an abomination in the eyes of God. Wherefore the Lord said unto Noah, behold, the daughters of thy sons have sold themselves, for behold, mine anger is kindled against the sons of men, for they will not hearken to my voice. Wherefore all those who go in unto them will be destroyed with them. Okay. And when Noah was 450 years old, he begot a son, and he called his name Japheth. 42 years later, he begot another son of her, who was the mother of Japheth, and he called his name Shem. 8 years later, Noah begot a son of his wife Naomi. We got a drama right here. 8 years later, Noah begot the son of his wife Naomi, who was the seed of Cain. He called his name Ham, for he said, through him will the curse be preserved in the land. Okay? You catch that?
Yeah, we know that's a cap. That's a lie.
Right. Right. So my point is this. Remember, went back, said that Cain was cunning, subtle, just like Cain was. Cain was subtle, just like the serpent was. And they telling us Cain came out of Lydia's hand. Okay? Keep that in mind.
Which we know is a lie.
So he said, for he said, through him will the curse be preserved in the land. And in chapter 11, now Noah had taken the wife of the seed of Cain, and she was a righteous woman. Nevertheless, the curse remained with her seed, and according to the word of God. I see right there, this is what I was saying about, people that's not have the zeal for the Most High and seeking this knowledge and all that. But see, it says now Noah had a wife of the seed of Cain, right? She was righteous. Can Cain have a righteous woman?
Hell no.
No, sir.
Cain can have. No, hold on. I'm gonna take it back. Cain can have a righteous woman.
How?
I'm just saying he can have a woman that's righteous. Can he convert her to not be righteous? Of course, because he's Cain. So that's what I'm saying. Look at how they're, you know what I'm saying, how it's being written is how they want you to read it. So it's like, can Cain, now if it was to say, can Cain have a righteous seed? That's a different question.
Right.
But could have Cain took from a righteous stock of females and appropriate and create whatever he wanted to create out of that? Yeah, he could do that. We can't act like that's not something that could happen.
Right. It says now Noah had a wife of the seed of Cain. So she
Nah, that's
went,
crazy. Okay, never mind. I'm done. Yeah, nah, that can't happen.
and she was a righteous woman, nevertheless, because remained and her seed. She ain't got no seed according to the word of God. Okay, so keep going. It says, and Noah took her on this wise. Noah took on this wise. For the word of the Lord came unto Noah, saying, take unto thyself Naamah, daughter of Lamech, who dwelleth here in the city of thy fathers, for she hath been faithful to my gospel. Wherefore I shall preserve to her seed of Cain through the flood. There we go.
Wow.
Here we go.
So look at the confusion. Look at the Leonard. Is that confusion or what? Is that confusion?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm just reading tonight because we're gonna go all the way in on it tomorrow. But Sabbath class, it says, this Lamech, who was the father of Naamah, was the seed of Cain, being the son of Methuselah, the son of Mahalalel, the son of Iri, the son of Enoch, the son of Cain. So that's this the lineage that I always go to in Genesis chapter 4, Cain's descendants. And Lamech had married Ada and Zillah, the daughters of Canaan, the son of Enos, the son of Seth, son of Adam. Ada bore children unto Lamech, but Zillah was barren until old age, when the Lord opened her womb and she conceived and bore a son and a daughter. That's Tubal-Cain and Nahum. Her son she named Tubal-Cain, saying, after I have withered away, have I obtained him from the Almighty. Her daughter she named Naamah, saying, after I have withered away, I have obtained pleasure and delight. Okay. Chapter 12. While Naamah was yet a child, great consternation fell upon the seed of Cain. For Iri, the son of Enoch, the son of Cain, had become a member of a secret combination and was privately privy to all its secrets until one night when the Lord appeared to him in a dream, saying, Iri, thou hast done evil instead of good, and hast followed after Satan rather than God. Wherefore I shall destroy thee in that house when I send the flood upon the earth. But Iri was pricked in his heart and pleaded with the Lord to show mercy and preserve his seed through the great flood. Seeing that his penitence was true, the Lord said to him, Iri, if thou wilt repent and reveal the evils of the secret combination unto the sons of self, I will have mercy upon thee, and I will join thy seed unto the seed of self, that it may be preserved through the great flood. Wherefore Iri went forth and began to reveal the secret of the Cain. Go ahead.
Read that again, please.
Okay, verse 3.
That's something that's deep, man.
Oh yeah, right, right. Seeing that his penance was true, the Lord said unto him, Iri, if thou wilt repent and reveal the evils of the secret combination unto the sons of Seth, I will have mercy upon thee, and I will join thy seed unto the seed of Seth, that it may be preserved through the great flood. Right? Wherefore Iri went forth and began to reveal the secrets of the sons of Cain unto the sons of Seth. Lamech being master mayhem, that word is again. Lamech, it's the wicked ass Lamech, being master mayhem at that time, found Iri sitting in his garden with Joram, the young son of Iri, and slew him. Thus Lamech slew Iri for the sake of the oath of the secret combination, and he slew Iri's son with him. But Tubal-Cain, the son of Lamech, had followed him and viewed his evil deed. With his son, and viewed his evil deed which he had committed, and he revealed it unto his mother Zillah, and she unto her sister Ada. Right? So wherefore Ada and Zillah confronted Lamech with his evil and cursed him in the name of the Lord for having slain Iri, who had repented his wickedness from among the sons of men. And Lamech said unto his wives Ada and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech. while slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, to the Lamech shall be a servant sevenfold. And
So
Lamech
that's where they
wives,
tied the scripture.
right, exactly.
That's where they tied it in that.
And they tell you what happened too.
Yeah.
Happened. Lamech wives therefore feared to confront him further, but Lamech repented not of his evil deeds, and finding his son Tubal Cain at prayer, he slew him for having revealed his murders. Now when Ada and Zillah, the wives of Lamech, learned of this, they took their remaining sons and daughters and went unto their father, Canaan's city, and revealed the remainder of the secrets of this evil combination among the sons of Adam. Thus did Naamah come to dwell among the sons of Adam, and she grew up before the Lord.
Hold on, Leonard. Moving too fast. So it says about this evil convocation with the sons of Adam.
Combination.
So yeah, so let me hear that. Let me hear that. So it says, yeah, run that back again, sir.
When Ada and Zillah, the wives of Lamech, learned of this, they took their remaining sons and daughters and went unto their father Canaan's city, and revealed the remainder of the secrets of this evil combination among the sons of Adam.
What does that mean?
Well, just like you got the righteous knowledge, you got these wicked angels, rooms, what they learned from those fallen angels in Enoch. They learned all these different, how to do curses and how to do all this different type of stuff. That's what Cain's descendants had learned.
That's what I'm saying. So what it's reading is that they took that shit and combined it. So that's what she's saying. Oh, that's what whoever they combined that shit with Adam.
Yeah, they took the Adam descendants.
So they took it to us.
Yeah, they took the Adam descendants. Self. Yeah, Adam descendants. Right.
Like blackening the eyes and
right,
stuff like that, making swords.
Everything that's going on in Egypt.
Okay. Because we are dealing with time of the Tower of Babel and okay. Yep.
This did Naamah come to dwell among the sons of Adam, and she grew up before the Lord in righteousness and was known for her tender care toward the sick and the unfortunate. Nevertheless, she had not husband because she was of a forbidden race. And it says, when the word of the Lord came unto Noah.
A forbidden race.
Yeah, Cain's descendants of a forbidden race.
So she's of Cain. So even right here, they're telling you she a forbidden race.
Right.
People should come. So now they're telling us that they done melded all of that type of information with the sons of Adam, the sons and daughters of Adam, and now we're dealing with a person who was saying something knowing that they're a forbidden race. That's what this shit is saying?
Right. So go back to the garden.
Right.
Didn't Eve converse with the serpent?
Yes, sir.
And then what she do? Gave it to
Adam. Brought it to Adam. Got you. All right.
Says that when the word of the Lord came unto Noah, saying, take unto thyself Naamah, the daughter of Lamech, who dwell here in the city of thy fathers, for she hath been faithful to my gospel. Wherefore I shall preserve through her the seed of Cain through the flood. And Noah went unto her, her father Methuselah. And Methuselah inquired of the Lord and returned this word unto his son Lamech. Verily thus saith the Lord, my handmaid Naamah have I given unto my son Noah, that the seed of Cain might be preserved through the great flood which I shall send upon the earth. Wherefore, let my son
That's
Noah.
totally good. Hold on. So let's break that shit down now.
Okay.
So that's, I'm not taking anything away that we've been stressing that we know. But they're saying that Cain ended up on a boat through being fruitful and multiplying. If I'm right. That's what this is saying. So this is how I'm gonna preserve Cain through. So this is what this shit is saying, is that Japhet is a son of Adam. I mean, a son of Noah. If we reading it right, hold on. If we reading it right, that's what it's saying, right?
Right, but it's a lot more to it. I'm just reading tonight because there's a lot more to it. I
know you. Okay. You gonna unpack it tomorrow. I got you. Sorry, you shut my mouth.
Right. Okay. Verse 2 says, Methuselah inquired of the Lord and returned his word unto his Lamech. Verily, thus said the Lord, my handmaid Naamah have I given unto my son Noah, that that the seed of Cain might be preserved through the great flood which I will send upon the earth. Wherefore, let my son Noah fear to take a wife, for in so doing he shall be blessed. For through him will come all nations. Okay, let me see this. Okay, all nations. Wherefore, say unto him, Noah, my son, I have looked upon the evils of the sons of men, which have come up before me, for they have corrupted the whole earth, save only this city in which thou dwellest. Therefore I will send in the flood upon the earth. I will send in the floods upon the earth, but thou and thy seed will I preserve through the flood. For I will send mine angels to instruct thee in the building of an ark, wherein ye shall be saved. Behold, I shall establish thy seed before me forever, and I will spread thee abroad over the earth, as numerous as the sands upon the sea. Thy seed shall not cease as long as the earth shall stand, but through thee and thy priesthood, which will be preserved in thy seed, shall all nations be blessed. Okay. It says, when Lamech returned his word to his son, Noah rejoiced and praised the Lord, saying, I gave thanks unto thee, O Lord, for thou hast been unto me a strong wall against all that will seek my destruction. Yea, thou hast promised to shelter me from the disasters which are coming upon the earth. That the flood shall not come in upon me to destroy my seed from the earth. Thou hast set my foot upon a rock, that the sons of men shall not prevail against me. Yea, I will walk in the ways of the ancients, in the path which thou hast appointed, will I spend my days, for thou art my shield and my deliverer, and in thee will I trust all the days of my life. Chapter 15. Thus did Noah take to wife Naamah, the daughter of Zillah, wife of Lamech, of the seed of Cain, and she bore him a son whom he named Ham, and thus was the curse preserved in the land through the great flood. And when the patience of God was ended, in which he did grace, grant a space of time for repentance unto the sons of men, that's 120 years, the flood came in upon the earth and destroyed all flesh from the face of the earth, save 8 souls only. For Noah and his youngest wife, Ada, and his 3 sons, Shem, Japheth, Ham, and one of each of their wives were preserved in the ark, which the angels had instructed Noah in building. The remainder of the righteous had died and been caught up into Enoch's city prior to the time of the flood, and these 8 were saved. Okay.
Those 8 were saved, but he said he was preserving thy seeds. So Cain and everybody came on. So that kind of justify the animals, or like people say it was just the animals of Noah and his sons.
Right. This is chapter 16. Now when the flood had abated and the ark had come to rest upon the tops of the mountains, Noah and his family descended thee, and after offering sacrifices unto the Lord and dedicating the land, they began to till the ground and raise all manner of crops. And when the grapes harvest was come in, Noah made wine and drank the new wine in his tent, and his heart was made glad, and they rejoiced before the Lord. See that? It's not, this ain't wicked. They rejoiced before the Lord for the bounty which the Lord had given him. That's in righteousness. There ain't nothing wicked about that. And it was upon the feast of Pentecost when Noah drank the new wine before the Lord and laid down naked in his tent to sleep. And when Ham, the son of Noah, entered the tent, he saw his father sleeping naked upon his bed with the sacred garments, which had been given to Adam in the Garden of Eden, laying nearby. Okay, Ham knew that he and his posterity could not bear the priesthood because of the curse of Cain, which was upon them, and knowing there was great power in the sacrifice garments, he stole them from his father Noah and hurried to his tent. Rousing his family, Ham instructed them to strike their tents and led them away to the plains of Shinar, where he dwelt and where he died. So that's, I told you, that's Shinar is located Mount Hermon. Now Ham's wife was named Zephtah, and she was also the seed of Cain, and they had a daughter named Zephtah. This daughter, after the death of Ham, led a body of his people westward until they reached a body of water in the land of Zephtah, which is in Egypt, where they settled. And as the waters receded from the land, they spread out and built many cities and temples. Before the death of Ham, the sacred garments were given secretly to him to his son Cush. Cush also kept them hidden, and in his old age gave them to his son Nimrod. And when Nimrod was 20 years of age, he put on the garments and derived great strength and power from them. Moreover, Nimrod was instructed in all secrets of evil combinations by his father Cain, for Cain had not perished in the flood. Wherefore, Nimrod became a mighty man among the sons of men and established his kingdom and grew stronger and stronger in wickedness after the order of the secret combination, which was from the beginning. For Nimrod spread his dominion over all mankind, save those of the city of Shalom. For Melchizedek. Shem ruled in the city of Shalom, and he was called Melchizedek, for he reigned as king under his father Noah, and was a priest of the Most High God. After the departure of Ham from the presence of his father Noah, Shem and Japheth dwelled together in peace under the Bain's rule of Noah. But in time, conflict arose among them, and Noah laid the seed of Shem to a new land, which the Lord showed him, where they built a city which they called Shalom, the city of peace. Noah invested in his son Shem with authority to reign as Prince of Peace, and Noah devoted his days to instruct his power after the order of the ancients. And his people dwelt in righteousness.
Leonard, I'm sorry, man. I know you speaking this word, but I mean, ain't that what, you know what I'm saying? The Christians understand this thing about the Prince of Peace.
Right.
So it's written right there who the Prince of Peace actually is. It's
right,
Shem,
exactly.
right?
Right. That's what Shalom means. Peace.
Facts.
Right.
And it's telling us, yo, this is the Prince of Peace. This is the Melchizedek.
Right. Exactly. Okay, and then verse 4 says, his people dwelt in righteousness and worshiped the Lord their God and saved him. They established the order of heaven among them and sought after the city of Enoch. And the Lord came among them and ministered to them, and those who sought for the gain of this world. Okay, and it says, and went out from among them. Okay, for they held all things common after the order of Enoch, and no man had above his neighbor. Among those who went forth from the city of Shalom was Peleg, who traveled to the northwest and established a city after the order of his father Noah. Peleg was the son of Eber. the son of Shalom, the son of Alphak, the son of Shem, and his people sought after the heavenly order and obtained it, for they were caught up like the city of Enoch. But Sherub, the son of Ruth, son of Peleg, followed not after the ways of his father, for he sought after the gain for himself. Therefore, he led those who were of a like mind with himself out from the city of Peleg, and they journeyed even unto the land of Shinar and became confederate with Nimrod. Under the direction of Nimrod, Sherug and his companions entered into the secret combination and became men of power and wealth in Nimrod's kingdom. And in the land of Shinar, Sherug begot Nahor, Nahor begot Terah, my father. And Terah became great in the eyes of Nimrod. And Nimrod elevated him over all his people to stand at his right hand and advise him on all matters. Chapter 20. Now my father Terah took many wives and begot many children. And when he was 65 years old, 65 years of age, he took the wife Amathela, the daughter of Combo, the son of Sherug, and she was a young woman of 15 years. And when Terah was 70 years old, his wife Amathela conceived and bore him a son who he named Abram, which interpreted his exalted father. And he said, Nimrod, okay, we could go up. Says that he bore him a son whom he called Abram, which be interpretation is exalted father. For he said, Nimrod had raised me on high over all his host. Wherefore my seed shall be reign as gods forever. Now this prophecy he spake, not knowing that it was of the Lord God. On that night that I was born, there were great signs in the heavens. And when Nimrod's astrologers saw him, they were astonished, and they spake evil of me to the king, saying that surely I shall overthrow his kingdom. Wherefore they counseled the king to purge me of my father, that they might slay me and thus frustrate the plans of God. Okay. King Nimrod thereupon sent for my father Terah, spake unto him the words of the astrologers, and asked for his son in return for a great sum of gold and silver. But the Spirit of the Lord wrought upon my father that he was loth to give me up to the king. On the night that I was born, a son was also born into one of my father's concubines, and this child my father took unto the king, and the king slew him in my stead. For thus had God ordained that I might grow up to serve him, the only wise and true God, and strive to establish his order in the earth all my days. Thus was my life saved by my father Terah, and he took me with my mother Amathela and my nurse Edna unto the cave hidden in the mountains, some distance from the city of where he secreted us and visited us each month at the new moon. For my father thus informed the king that he went each month on the new moon to a spot sacred to his family's deity. For in the kingdom of Nimrod, each man worshiped gods of his own make, gods of wood and stone, each after the imagination of his own heart. Okay. Thus I dwelled in the cave with my mother, Amathela, and my nurse Edna, and knew no other man save my father Terah, my elder brothers Haran and Nahor, who accompanied my father on his visit. And when I was 3 years of age, the Lord visited me in a dream of the night, and he said unto me, Abram. And I said, Here I am. And he said unto me, Abram, I am the God of thy father Peleg and Shem, and know, it is I who preserved thy life when the wicked king Nimrod would have destroyed thee, for I softened the heart of thy father that he should hide thee away. Thus I did, for I have a mighty work of thee to do in establishing mine order upon the earth. And verily I say unto thee, I, the end, through thee shall this wicked Nimrod be destroyed from off the face of the earth. Behold, thou shalt remain in the cave with thy mother and thy nurse for yet 7 years. And at the end of that time thou shalt depart, and I will send mine angel to guide thee into the city of thy father Noah, where thou shalt be instructed in the way of life. And from that time forth the Lord instructed me often in dreams of the night that my mind was open to the ways of the kingdom. We almost at the end. Say, when I was 10 years of age, I departed from the cave by night, while my mother and my nurse slept, and the angel of God met me and led me to the city of Shalom, where Noah and his son Shem dwelt, and no man knew where I was. And I dwelt with Noah and Shem for 39 years, being instructed in all the ways of the Most High God, and finding great happiness and peace and rest therein. I sought for the blessings of my fathers, and I received under the direction of Noah and Shem those instructions whereby I might enter into the order of the ancients. And I became a rightful heir and high priest, holding the right belonging to the fathers. For I was ushered into the church of the firstborn, and tasted of the fruits of the heavenly life. In my 50th year, Father Shem called me into his presence and instructed me on return to the house of my father. There were many there who were seeking after the light and the truth, for they had seen the foolishness of worshiping idols of wood and stone, but they knew not where to find the true God. After Father Shem blessed me, saying, Blessed art thou, Abram, of the Most High God, for he hath looked upon thee and found thine heart right before him. For this cause the Most High shall visit thee, and shall stand as an head, and be father of a multitude, for many nations shall spring forth from thy loins. And behold, in thy father's house dwelleth she whom the promise belonged, for she is a princess in the house of the Most High, and shall reign as a queen over thy prosperity forever. Seek after her, and take her to wife, for she will be the mother of the promised seed. Okay. The blessings of the God of Noah attend thee, my son, as thou journey on thy way. For from this time forth thou shalt be a wanderer in the earth, until thy seed shall come into the inheritance of this land by the powers of God and the sword of his might. Be fruitful always, preach the truth in soberness, and be vigilant in the cause of God, and thou shalt be blessed forevermore. Okay. And with this blessing resting upon me, I gathered together my family, for I had taken 7 wives in the city of Shalom, who had borne me 50 daughters. Okay. And although I had no sons of my own flesh, yet I had adopted 12 sons of those who were faithful to the order of the angels. And furthermore, among these were Eleazar of Damascus, who had come to the city of Shalom, seeking after the blessings of the Father, and had remained as my son. Him I appointed as steward over all I possessed for this journey, for he stood as my heir, for I love him as my son and brother. But Father Shem said unto me, Eleazar is good and righteous man, and he shall be greatly blessed in time and in eternity, but he shall not be an heir. Who shall be thine heir, who shall take in the house of thy father? For she is ordained to be the queen of queens and the mother of thine heir. Whereby, as I have said, I gathered together my wives and my daughters and my adopted sons and their wives and children, and I said unto them, Hear my word, beloved, and hearken unto my speech, for I have been sent with a mission unto the house of my father in the land of Shinar, to gather out the pure in heart, who are seeking after the true God. Gather together all your goods, and make you tents in which to dwell, and saddle your asses to travel upon. For the Most High God hath declared that we shall wander upon the earth from this time forth until our seed shall come in to inherit this land by the powers of God and by the sword of his might. Then commenced their preparation on the appointed day, as was in ready of our departure. And when Father Shem came forth to bless us, Father Noah came also with him. Now Father Noah dwelt in the temple in the heart of the city of Shalom, and seldom came out of the holy places, but I had never seen him without a sacred precinct. Okay, but he came forth at this time and lifted up his hands and blessed us in the name of the Most High God, and we departed from his house. We journeyed slowly for their sake of the women and the children, and we journeyed not upon the Sabbath day, nor upon any of the holy days, for we thought it better to worship the Lord our God according to the pattern of heaven than to proceed rapidly upon our way. And we did know that the Lord prospered us in our journey and protected us from the powers of all the enemies, because we did faithfully serve him and worship before his throne according to the divine power. But at length we did arrive in the land of Shinar at the city of Ur. Now the size of the city was immense. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there and see what else I got. Yeah, I got a lot more. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there. Anybody have any comments before we go? We're gonna pick this up tomorrow. Anybody got any comments?
Yeah, I got a lot, man. I don't know if y'all can hear me because I feel like I'm in the matrix.
Did y'all hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you both.
Yeah,
I'm in the
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. My screen there went blank. I didn't know if y'all can hear me or not. Okay, so we're gonna pick it up. I think I got something like let me see. Yeah, I got about 10 more chapters, so I just read them tomorrow, and then we'll just go into the breakdown tomorrow. Anybody got any comments?
Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I got comments, but I don't want to. We'll break day. The sun will be coming up by the time we done. If I get to talking, so
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone, man, and we'll do that tomorrow, man. This is big right here. What you just
Oh
broke
yeah,
down.
it's humongous, man. It's humongous, bro. Oh yeah. And then some. Yeah. So everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So 10 o'clock tomorrow, we're gonna jump right back on it. And we'll use morning Sabbath and the evening Sabbath to break it down. Shalom.
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 Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.